Hi everyone, I'm Chyill and welcome back to another Battlerite discussion video. Today I want to talk a little bit about player retention in Battlerite, my thoughts on the whole issue, and perhaps what are some of the things that could be done to help solve the problem. And so please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Player retention in Battlerite. This topic has been brought up and talked about quite recently among avid Battlerite players in forums, among players in the game itself, basically just about anywhere really, ever since the last big drop in player numbers for Battlerite at least. And so in this video today, I just want to give my opinions on the matter and see what we can really do about the whole issue. But before I get into all those stuff, I just want to say that I will be away for the next couple of weeks after posting this video, and so my regular 2 videos a week posting schedule will probably be compromised a little bit. What this means is that I will try my best to upload at least 1 video a week, and that includes my IVA guide that should come out next week. But I can't really promise anything more than that since I don't know if I will be able to make videos while away as I normally would on my PC at home. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know this in advance. Back on topic, I'm sure most, if not all of you realize the queue times in Battlerite have increased dramatically over the past few weeks. Ever since that big summer patch was dropped near the end of June, there hasn't been a lot of content that was released by the developers for Battlerite. Players have already achieved and gotten whatever skins or ranks they wanted by now, and so I think players felt like there wasn't much to be excited for Battlerite anymore, since there weren't any new content or features from the developers, seeing that they were on holiday for a few weeks. Player numbers have diminished to the extent where it is almost at the lowest it has ever been for a decent amount of time, and I think the main factors for this lack of player retention is the lack of new content or features, and the overall poor player experience, and by that I mean like the long queue times. Usually most players are excited for new champions to try out and play, new game modes to try out, new cosmetics to get, and new ranks to climb and so on. But since there are none of that now, the poor player experience that they're getting and the lack of rewards, which tie into the lack of content as well, surely doesn't help to keep them playing for longer. Take the summer patch for instance. Even with the surge in player numbers after the patch, the players who came back to try out what they really wanted to try out quickly came back and left again after trying out what they wanted to try, and so the queue times increased again after a couple of weeks. The more dedicated ones continued to play, but once they have gotten the skins that they wanted, achieved the ranks that they wanted and so on, they also stopped playing due to long queue times and the lack of updates, even though they really enjoy the core gameplay of the game. So this creates some sort of feedback loop, I feel, because once players start leaving, the queue times go up, and then more continue to leave because of that, and making the queue time go up even more, and then even more leave, and this cycle repeats until more content comes out again. In an ideal world, the game just has to be fun and enjoyable to a certain person for them to want to keep coming back and play, but unfortunately there are so many games out there, so much competition to every game, that the game really has to offer so much more just to keep players engaged and want to keep coming back for more. I feel that it is very important for them to tackle this problem of player retention first and foremost, because even with the free-to-play launch, if players don't stay after the initial launch period, we'll just be back at where we started, and it may be even harder to get back out of this situation once free-to-play has launched. It is not feasible to release new contents or updates so often, since these things do take time to develop, but I think that there are surely some things that the developers can do to help curb this loss of players. What I will say now will be some of the biggest ways I think the developers can do to help alleviate the player retention problem, as well as some of the concerns that some of the more dedicated Battlerite players are having. But do bear in mind that these are just my opinions, and they may or may not be entirely correct, since there are surely things that I may have missed or not understand, and there are many ways to go about this. So first off, I think that the developers really have to work on the communication between them and the players, and letting the players know that they do care about the players. While I know that Stunlock Studios do communicate to their players using their blog posts and stuff like that, I think they can learn a thing or two from the Overwatch dev team and the Facturo dev team when it comes to learning what the player base wants and working from there. Battlerite has sold about 500k copies so far, but the active player base is only at about 1 or 2,000 currently. 500k copies is quite a respectable number, and I think that the game would benefit from focusing on trying to keep those players playing, rather than focusing too much on trying to gain more new players, at this point at least. I think that those players who are after something like Battlerite would have found out about Battlerite by now, and so that's why I think one way of solving this player number problem would be to make sure that these players who initially tried out Battlerite because it was fun for them, know that they are important and would want to come back and continue playing. I very often see suggestions on the Battlerite subreddit and forums that ask for certain features, certain mechanics and so on, but rarely are they ever touched upon by the developers in their blog posts and communications with the players. Battlerite is their game and they can do whatever they want with it. Whether or not they add features that players ask for is up to them in the end of the day. And since most players aren't expert game developers, some suggestions may be completely unfeasible or bad that they wouldn't want to add it in. That's fair. But really, I think that the players really just expect a short reply or explanation on why certain features are not implemented yet, or perhaps why certain mechanics wouldn't be that great of an idea and so on. And so the point here is just the communication, I believe, and the players just wants to know that the dev team listens and that they do care about the players. So yeah, I think a little bit more communication between the dev team and the players would certainly help to bring some of those players that went on hiatus to come back to playing the game again. Next up, I think that Battlerite can benefit from having a development roadmap of some sort to make sure that players know that more content will be coming and when they will be coming. Rainbow Six Siege was plagued with long queue times, bugs, and just lots of issues in general at the launch of the game almost 2 years back. But now those problems with queue times in Rainbow Six Siege, even in the Southeast Asia region where I play mostly, are almost completely gone, and more players are playing the game even though some of the major issues that people complain about are still there since launch. I think the key here is that players know that things are being done for Rainbow Six Siege. They know that they will eventually be solved because there is a roadmap that the team will be trying to stick to, and it's the team's promise to the players that there will be content and updates coming. Promises can be dangerous since there will be lots of unhappy people if they are broken, but the good thing is that they will also keep most people positive and happy as they can expect that things will be done and more good stuff are coming. As long as Stunlock is smart with their promises and they don't disappoint after making a promise, then I'm sure Battlerite can benefit from having more players as a result of having a roadmap system like Rainbow Six Siege. Moving on, I think that Battlerite can also benefit from having a standardized competitive structure. Many people have mentioned this before, and clearly there are quite a number of people who prefer 3 vs 3 for ranks instead of 2v2s, and vice versa of course. While I have no clear preference for one mode or the other because I enjoy both just as much, I think the game can benefit from just having one standard mode instead of two. Battlerite is a competitive game by nature, and so naturally the target market would be competitive players. Most players care about their ranks and how good they are and so on, and so I think it is fairly important that the dev team decides on a standard competitive game mode, whether or not there are actually more people who enjoy ranked 3v3s or more people who enjoy ranked 2v2s. It is clear that the player base is split if there are two competitive game modes. Splitting that already small player base doesn't help anybody, and so I think that they should definitely standardize it as soon as possible, even though it may be risky to do so. I can't predict what would happen as well, but this is just a thought that I share with a number of other people, so I think it's probably worth a try for at least a season, and if it doesn't work, just change it back. Even after a year of being released, Overwatch is still making major changes to their competitive mode every season, and so I don't see why a game that is still in development shouldn't make as many changes while it is still easy to do so to try out what works and what really doesn't. So yeah, those are just some of my thoughts on combating the declining player numbers. Evidently, the quest and achievement system implemented in the summer patch that was meant to increase player retention isn't working at all, and so I think more drastic measures like what I mentioned should be taken. It would probably take a bit of restructuring to their workflow in the studio and whatnot, but it should hopefully pay off in the end, I feel. I didn't include in the video some of the more obvious stuff like increasing esports exposure, advertisement and so on, since those are pretty basic marketing stuff which I'm sure they already know about and have done before. Those cost quite a bit of money, and I can understand that they will likely keep those for when the game is launching free to play. I just wanted to highlight some of the things that the dev team of more successful games have done that did help those games a whole lot, and so perhaps Stunlock Studios could learn a thing or two from them. So yeah, that's about all I really wanted to say on this topic for now. It is the biggest issue that Battlerite is facing right now, in my opinion, and so I really hope something is done because I really enjoy the game and I don't want it to die. So yeah, please do leave your thoughts on the matter down below in the comment section. Leave your suggestions as well on what you think Stunlock Studios can do to help combat this problem, because it'll be nice to hear some of it and have a discussion on them. Be sure to leave a like and share this video as well if you agree with me and you would like to see Battlerite doing well once more. And so yeah, that's about it for this video. It's a pretty quick one, but until next time guys, I hope you have a great day, keep gaming, stay chill, and I'll see you guys in the next one, okay? Bye bye.